talk about Tetris. This film is currently streaming on Apple TV Plus. They have a really good relationship with Taron Egerton, who also starred in the Apple TV Plus series Blackbird, which I love. In Blackbird, it did take a couple of episodes before I felt like Taron Egerton got into the groove. I also feel that way here. That first act, there was some moments when it felt like he was overacting and over projecting. But then when he really got in the groove, when the story really started unfolding, I felt like he really was showing up and really becoming Henk Rogers. I think this is a good movie. I think what's so creative and refreshing about it is how the story is told, how the stakes really do keep you on the edge of your seat, whether you know about this story or if you don't. And even if you lived through this time, I think it's told brilliantly. I love the graphics that it uses. It uses 8-bit graphics to express the stakes, to liven up the stakes and really refresh the screen, because at the end of the day, the story is about a business deal. Those are not entertaining stories for the most part. We have another one out that's also about a business deal, Air, which is in theaters now. Business deals are not very entertaining, so it's about the character you're portraying and the other situations these characters get into. And I think that Tetris did a good job. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about Taron Egerton, a white British man, playing Henk Rogers, who is a Dutch man with Indonesian descent. I don't have a problem with Taron Egerton playing this role because the actual person doesn't. Indonesian is not a race, it is a nationality. There are white people born in Indonesia, and there were back in the 80s and so forth. So I didn't have a problem with Taron Egerton playing this role. Again, it took him some time to get into the groove of it, but once he did, it felt like he was really committed. Let's get into the story. So this story, again, is in essence about a business deal. Sounds boring, right? But what livens it up is that we're smack dab in the middle of the Cold War in 1984. A bankrupt computer programmer named Henk Rogers wants to profit off the creation of a foreigner's technology by gaining rights to license the game in the world outside of the USSR. Not only does he have to jump through the hurdles of political bureaucracy and red tape in London and the USSR, but has gambled his house and his marriage on this one deal paying off. So he is looking for a windfall. He's living in Japan with his wife and his daughter, and this is his central focus right now. So he is sacrificing his marriage and his family for this one deal, betting everything on this one deal because he knows what's so great about Tetris, and he gets involved with these game makers, these game creators. They're coming out with the Gameboy, and he knows the potential of selling millions of these units if these units aren't just geared or targeted for a specific audience. He has the foresight that if Tetris is pre-installed on this Game Boy, it would sell millions, and it has. And so I think this is a great film. It is very easy to watch. I'm surprised it was so great because I did not like the trailer. And there are some documentaries out here about the story and about Henk Rogers and everyone involved. I think the villain in this film isn't just about what's going on, in the USSR and the Cold War and the KGB. Even the villain seemed like Vlad. I kept thinking, oh, this is probably Vlad because he was KGB. But it's really good. It's really thrilling. It's entertaining throughout. I love the creativity. There's a car scene I thought was really cool, how they used graphics to make you feel like you were in this game, and the stakes feel like stakes in a game, even though this was true. There was something authentic about it, especially if you grew up in the 80s and the fear around what was going on, with the Cold War. In essence, really cool movie. I think Taron Egerton did a good job. I want to see him do something different in the next couple of movies. To diversify his portfolio somewhat, because I think his performances are starting to bleed over from project to project, and I just want to see him do something a little different. Maybe something like a comedy or even a romantic comedy. I don't know. That's probably not even what he wants to do, but I just want to see how diversified he can be, because again, it just feels like his performances are bleeding over and becoming one and the same. At any rate, Tetris is currently streaming on Apple TV Plus now.